In tournament poker, there are two factors that supersede all factors. How much do players have left in their stacks, and how much money is in the middle, the stack to pot ratio.
In tournaments, you want to wield your stack like a weapon. It's a powerful source of leverage. The SPR, or stack to pot ratio, determines your preferred strategic option. Let's see how great tournament players use the SPR to make profitable decisions and to put the pressure on their opponents. Properly leveraging SPR has a lot to do with the best way for you to make your opponents to fold in any given situation. So let's get started to see how a fold affects your stack size. In tournament play especially, you want to maximize your reward while also accounting for your risk. After all, you can only bust out of most tournaments once, so that's an important risk to manage. Going all in for 10,000 chips to win 150 chips just sounds like a bad idea, and it's easy to see why. You would be risking your entire tournament life for a stack size increase of only 1.5%. Or, put another way, you're risking your entire tournament life to win a 67th of your stack. So you can see when the SPR is large, it usually means that you should make smaller than all-in raises to shift the risk to reward ratio to your advantage. With any SPR, winning a pot when you're all-in should be worth risking your entire tournament life, and that happens when you determine it to be profitable, not just because you've been forced. Those situations are rare with big SPR, like when you have flopped strongly and so has your opponent. So knowing the SPR gives you a solid relative hand strength ranking strategy as well. When the SPR is high, you should rarely be all in, which means your hand requirements are strict. Now that the blinds have increased, play is becoming a bit more volatile, and it should be. Just like every other time in a tournament, SPR shows you why to play most of your hands in a certain way. There are 600 chips in the middle and you have 10,000 chips. By taking down this pot, you would grow your stack by 6%, which is a bit better than when the blinds were only 5,100. Let's assume you have Jack-9 suited and you open min-raise preflop to 800. If the raise induces everyone to fold, then you've just increased your stack by 6%. Nice! But you need to consider your opponent's perspectives too, because right after you open raise to 800, there are 1,400 total chips in the middle, and the risk to reward for you is still favorable. So the change in SPR means other players have an extremely favorable opportunity to attack with a re-raise bluff. From their perspectives, after your open raise, and depending on the player, the SPR is closer to 7, meaning all-ins have tremendous potential to increase the stack size. The button's re-raise bluff, if it induces all other players to fold, increases his stack size significantly. With its successful bluff, the button adds 1,400 chips to his 10,000 chip stack, so the button's re-raise bluff has the potential to increase his stack by 14%. In fact, all players have a lot of motivation to attack your open raise frequently, and that should factor into how often and with what hands you open raise. A couple of orbits later, the blinds increased again, and you try the same move. After all, your SPR is similar, so the risk and reward seems advantageous. So you open for a min-raise again, expecting to face the same risks and rewards. But what you may have missed is that the other players have drastically different SPRs, and that should have affected your open raising frequency. With your raise, there are a combined 1,750 chips in the middle. The players behind have an opportunity to move all in to gain loads if they induce folds, as you can see with their respective stack to pot ratios. So instead of your solid SPR, you should focus on your opponent's low SPRs. It's all about SPR in tournament play. The short stacks are looking for every opportunity to win pots uncontested. Remember, SPR, and that short stacks pressure with raises. Wielding the short stack is powerful, and you need to play to take that option away from the short stacks. So check out these two quick reminders of how to avoid being on the wrong end of proper low SPR play. Play tighter preflop when you're open raising. You are so unlikely to get bluffs through 3 different players so motivated to go all in with all their half-decent hands that your open raising hands need to be able to take the pressure of other players' all-in bets much more often. Short stacks have much less motivation to call off their stacks because they cannot induce folds by calling. There is no pressure made from a call. So with the small change to your strategy, your opponents must now have much stronger hands to defend against your aggression, and you put them in the tough spots.
With just a few minor changes, you went from being pressured to putting the pressure on other players, all because of the stack to pot ratio. Look for more profitable advice at PokerSprout.com.